Welcome to Stonehaven Farms. Stonehaven sits atop the Ozark Mountains in Whitt Springs, Arkansas. The farm consists of 250 acres of pasture and forest. Our animals are pasture-raised and rotationally grazed, moving on fresh grass for the health of the animals and regeneration of the land. Good morning, everybody. I thought I'd take you along this morning to do morning chores. Sarah, this one is for you. Let's see how everybody's doing in the bunkhouse this morning. I hear a puppy. Oh, good morning, sweet girl. Oh my goodness, yes. Is everybody so excited? All right, yep, let's go potty. Come on, baby girl. Come on, baby girl. Yes, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's the baby girl? How's the baby girl? Good morning, Sam. Yes, come on, kitty. Come on, everybody, let's go potty. Let's go potty. Yeah, let's go potty, good girl. He's a good girl. Oh, yes. Are you ready to play? Come on. This is what we call our bunkhouse, and currently it's acting as a nursery of sorts because we have so many babies in here, don't we? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Hi, sweetheart. See, Daddy already fed you this morning, huh? Before you went to work? I know, kitty. I think that you need to be fed because you need your medicine. So let's do that first. Come here, baby girl. Yeah. You already ate, Miss Thing. Yes, you did. You already had your breakfast. I know. You're a little chunky monkey and you think that you've never had enough. All right, come here, girl. I'm going to get you your medicine. Yeah, you're not gonna like it. Hang on. Give you your probiotics. Oh, so healthy. Hang on. Come here, I gotta sprinkle this on your food. I know that you don't love it. All right. Why don't you eat that while I figure this out? Because this you hate, huh? Little Miss Kitty came to us, and I'm not sure how old she is exactly, but we're guessing, I think, about 12 weeks. But she came to us from a family that had a couple litters of kittens, and we think she's got something going on with her because she's had quite the yucky tummy. But she does not like this either. I'm not a cat person, so it's not my strong suit. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, we did it. Good job. We did it. All done. All done. You can eat your food in peace now. All right, this is a batch of broiler chicks. They are Rhode Island Reds. There's, I think, 15 of them. Got a couple of roosters. And honestly, I can't tell which ones they are quite yet, but pretty soon probably. And they're gonna replace my current layer chicks. Yes, I know, you're super crazy. Just gonna fill your food. Don't need to freak out. So they get a special layer feed. And then get some little chick grit. I just sprinkle on top of their food. Chickens require grit, or basically what is just rock, so that they can digest their food properly in their gullet. And I have found that, well, we've lost turkeys recently for not giving them enough grit. So it's very important for them to survive. Hey, babies. So the other thing that you need to do with chicks is to check their butts, make sure they don't have pasty butt. They can, well, essentially, they get poop stuck to their vents, and if they can't poop, then they will die. So definitely not a glamorous part of farming, cleaning chicken butts, but it's necessary. And they've all kind of pretty much, I think, passed that phase where they get the pasty butt. Usually it's when they're really young, within the first week or so, at least that I've found. And granted, I don't have a ton of experience, but for the last week or so, they've been pretty good. And these guys, I think at this point, are maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks old. But aside from making sure that they have good food and grit, the other thing that chicks require is constant fresh water. So I check their food and water at least twice a day, and they really do go through it. And they're gonna, well, yeah, they've pretty much outgrown this brooder, so they're gonna move here shortly out of that brooder, probably into this one, which is much bigger and currently holds our broiler chicks, which are Cornish cross, and they are grown for meat, which I know some of you have a hard time with, but this is where you get your food from at the grocery store. Most of those, most meat chickens or commercial chicks are Cornish cross because they grow out very, very quickly. I think 7 to 8 weeks is the typical grow out period from the day the chicks are born until the time that they are big enough to process and to go to the grocery store for meat. So very fast growing. And these guys will be in the brooder for a couple weeks, probably 2 to 3 weeks, before they go out on grass. And that is one of the reasons that I prefer to grow them and process them myself, because I know how they've been treated. In commercial factories, they live in a cage, a tiny square cage their entire life, and have no idea what fresh grass even looks like, and I think that's disgusting. So at least this way, I know where my food is coming from. I know it's been taken care of and respected. And so these little guys will go outside in a couple of weeks, and then they will spend the rest of their lovely lives in a chicken tractor where we move them around on fresh grass every day, just living their best lives. And same thing with these guys. They need fresh food and water constantly. These guys consume a lot of food. They have a special broiler, and broiler, again, broiler is a meat chicken. They have a special broiler starter that we feed them, and they've actually got 2 different feeders in here. And then, let's see if we can show you that closer. couple different feeders in there in the water, which I'm currently filling up. And they've got their little tub of grit. And chicks do require a heat lamp. They need to stay warm constantly, and in this bunkhouse, just in general, it stays pretty warm in here. But they do have that extra heat lamp, and you can generally tell if chicks are too hot or too cold, and you can adjust that heat lamp accordingly. The chicks will kind of gather where they feel most comfortable. So you can see they're kind of all gathered there under the side of the brooder where the heat lamp is. If they were cold, then they would be laying on top of each other all in one corner. But they're kind of, as they get hungry, they'll get up about and walk around. That's a good sign. If they were all the way on the other side of the brooder, like really staying away from the heat, that would tell me that heat lamp is too hot, too close to the brooder. So you just kind of have to watch and adjust and just pay attention to to how they're acting. The other thing we want to make sure of with these chicks when it comes to their water dishes is I actually put little rocks in the bottom of their water dish. That way, when they're really, really small, they don't drown in their water dish. That is possible. So these IBC totes, we use them for water storage, and we cut one in half to use it as a brooder. It works great, and it's just plastic. So when we're done using it with this batch of chicks, we will clean it out and then save it for the next. But Ron built this little wooden cover that's just covered with chicken wire. He just stapled chicken wire to it in order to prevent the cat and the dogs from trying to climb in here, because they do, especially the cat. She likes to jump up and just kind of sit on top of the brooder and inspect the chickens. And I certainly didn't want to lose any of our chickens to kitty attack. But these are pine shavings that I put in here. These pine shavings or peat moss. I've used both. Just happen to be using this one this time, but it really, I guess I've probably gotten used to farm smells, but I don't think that it smells at all. If you keep things relatively clean and covered with pine shavings, it actually smells kind of good. It smells like pine. But if you don't ever clean out a chicken coop or add bedding to it, then it can get pretty smelly pretty fast. Let's put this thing back on here. It's a little cumbersome. All right, let's get everybody else's food prepped for the day. So we've got pigs. We currently have 3 Hereford pigs. I'll show you those guys in a few minutes, but we do, I ferment their food, which essentially all that I do is take their dry pellets, which it's called pig and sow. Take those dry pellets and we fill it with water and leave it overnight. And by the next day, she's got a nice ferment on it. You can smell it. Smells kind of sour, and it's supposed to be good for their guts, good for digestion. And again, the pigs that we have, we keep them moving around on fresh grass or in the woods. Sometimes we'll run them in the woods, but right now they're up by the chicken yard.
I wish that you would stop eating my shoelaces, pretty please. That would be great.
Ugh. Okay, so that is the pigs, and then we need to feed our livestock guardian dogs, Bear and Sherman. We have one of the most important jobs on the farm, keeping everybody safe. So we'll feed them, and then we need to feed all of the poultry, and I am running out of tubs. Excuse me, miss. Excuse me, miss. Yeah, what do you think you're doing, huh? And I have also lost a bucket.
I've lost a bucket.
Yes, I have. I don't want to dip that in. It's wet. So we'll switch them out. So I have a game bird feed that, nope, that's the starter. That's for the broiler chicks. A game bird feed that I use for turkeys, for ducks, and for quail. So we need a good amount of that. And then I have a layer pellet that I use for the egg-laying chickens.
Miss Thing, what are you doing, huh? What are you doing? What are you doing? Do you think that you're starving? You have already had your breakfast. Yes, and you don't get a snack for, a few hours yet. My goodness.
We're losing our microphone.
Yeah, you're such a chunky monkey. Such a chunky monkey. You think that you need food all the time. What am I gonna do with you? All right, should we go feed everybody? Huh? Do you want to come out?
Here we go. Here we go. Watch those wheels. I don't want to run you over. Come on. Yes, you're always underfoot. Always underfoot. Here we go. Let's go feed some babies. Welcome to the barnyard. Well, barnyard and the garden, really, I guess. First stop, quail cages. So we separated them out so that they've got some space. Now there's some boys and some girls in each cage. And you can tell all the difference between boys and girls in that the boys here have a brown chest. And then, whoop, come here, baby. The girls have more of a speckled chest. And they're really cute. They should start laying eggs here soon. But we'll add food and water to their cages. I don't want you to jump out. That would be terrible. So I made these little buckets. It's just a Tupperware I got from Walmart, and then I ordered these little lids, and they just stick their heads in there. They can actually almost stick their entire body in there and get food out. They also go through a lot of food and water. And Barnyard gets care twice a day. Go on, little Miss Thing. Go over to the spout here and fill up their water. Oh, actually, you guys, your water is good. Let's clean it out, though. And your food is good, too. All right. So these guys get a game bird feed. It's just like a little crumble. And then their water dishes, they're just these little chicken quill waterers. Order them off Amazon, and they attach very nicely to a mason jar. Makes it pretty simple. All right, quail are done. I'll move along to the rest of the barnyard. Dogs and ducks come first. So livestock guardian dogs, our dogs are Great Pyrenees, and they're sleeping right now. So livestock guardian dogs, they do most of their work at night when all the predators are out and about. So they sleep a lot during the day, which is just fine, but they will jump up at the sight or sound of any kind of predators. So, for example, here's Sherman. Hi, Sherman. Hey, buddy. They just met baby girl yesterday, and they did really good with her. When you introduce a new animal to the farm, you have to be careful about how you introduce them, especially with livestock guardian dogs, because it is their job to protect the animals that they know from anything foreign. So got to be careful with how you bring new babies onto the farm. And with little Miss Ellie, they did really good with her. Yesterday I brought her down to the yard and I held her and kind of let them, oops, I forgot my quill feed. Let them sniff her and let them see that I'm holding her and that she's one of us. And then eventually just put her down on the ground and let her wander around, and they kind of followed her and sniffed her a bit, and then that was it. They've kind of not paid her any attention since, which is perfect. It's exactly what we want. One of the family. All right, so we've got a bunch of ducks wandering around. I'll show them to you in a bit, but give them a little bit of feed. They really don't require much. The ducks are currently free ranging, and I let them free range because they don't destroy my garden, unlike the chickens, and I don't have a fence around the garden yet, so the ducks are allowed to free range, and there they are. So they have plenty of space to wander and to eat all the bugs and get all the protein that they really need. But I do give them a little bit of food to supplement that. And then everybody needs some fresh water. Ducks love water. They also will destroy immediately any body of water that they find. So as soon as they see me with fresh water, as soon as I leave, because they are a little skittish, they will come running over here and just muddy it right up. So everybody gets fresh water twice a day, and everybody kind of shares. I put this one up on blocks so that the dogs have unmuddied water because the ducks can't get up there. So just allows the dogs some fresh water. But I also got the ducks a little pool that they love, and gotta kick it. And make sure there's no snakes under here. God forbid. Mommy's terrified of snakes. Duck house over here. Sometimes Mama Duck will very sweetly lay her duck in the house for me. And that's about the only time that I get a duck egg, because if the dogs find an egg, they will eat it, which is a very bad habit that I'm not real happy about, but you know, it is what it is. All right. I can't believe Bear's not over there growling at you. He's got grandpa patience. Come here. Yeah, you are such a roly-poly baby. You just think you're constantly hungry. All right, baby turkey's next. All right, so these guys are our youngest turkeys. We had, you can hear the big guys in the background. We had gotten some turkeys. They were bronze breasted, which is a heritage breed. And we got them from a local lady who was selling them as poults. And they were growing out so well that we decided to get some more. And these are the only two left. I don't know what happened. I think it was that they weren't getting enough grit, and that was absolutely my fault. But we lost like 3 of them in one day. It's really upsetting. But there's only 2 left for the babies. They're also skittish little critters. They don't they don't love pets or cuddles by any means. So the chickens right now I have got inside of a fence. This fence is, it's kind kind of a temporary fence. You know, you can move it around. It's just got stakes that you step in, and you can actually electrify it as well. I don't have it electrified. I don't really think it's necessary. The grown-up turkeys we just put in here the other day. We're trying to kind of gather everybody together and make chores easier as we get into winter time. And then we took this other chicken tractor that we have. It's not actually completely built, and we put a tarp over the top of it and just zip tied it on there, and then put a couple of pieces of, well, I think they're 2x2s across there so that they have a spot to perch. And they do love to perch. These turkeys can and will fly. Oh, their door got shut. Need to put a rock there. But they can and will fly. So a couple of days ago when Ron and I moved them in here, we actually trimmed the feathers of the females. For some reason, they fly more than the male. Ron thinks the male is just getting too heavy to fly. This thing's not going anywhere. That storm coming. I'm gonna have to keep this door from closing so that they can come in and out as they want to. Oh my goodness. Are you stuck? Yep, that is not where you belong. That is not where you belong, miss. Come here. Mm-hmm. Come here. I know you want to play. Chicken food. Let me get this closer. I have been keeping their chicken feeder. Well, I've lost my mic, and if I had recognized at that time that I could just go back and watch my video and figure out exactly where I lost my mic, that would have been so smart of me. However, I searched the grass for a good 20 minutes before I found it, and in the meantime, I'm just going to try and narrate for you, I suppose. Chickens, they get a layer feed. I kind of keep it under their coop to keep it dry, especially during stormy weather. And then everybody's getting fresh water. This watering system out in this garden area is relatively new. We plumbed it all the way from out in the pasture, actually, up from a natural spring that we have, and I'll show you a video of that someday. But we trenched about 2,500 feet, and man, it was a pain in the butt. But now we have water out in the garden, which is great. All right, so we're gonna go and feed the pigs. These three pigs are Hereford. They are gilts, all three of them, which are females that have never been bred. I have toyed with the idea of potentially keeping one or two for farrowing and having babies. I would love to try that. I've never bred pigs before, but we'll see how that goes. The plan is to process at least one of them, and yes, again, we are raising these for meat. Process at least one of them here within the next couple of months, probably when the weather cools off, because processing a pig in the heat is just not fun and not good for the meat. It just makes things harder. But we'll see how that goes. The Herefords, I've never raised Herefords before. They are a heritage breed, so again, maybe a little slower growing than a commercial pig, but I'm excited to see how they turn out. I've only ever raised a Kune before. Kunis are supposed to be probably like easier for homesteaders to raise because they don't root around as much. meaning they're not supposed to tear up your grass. I actually don't mind that these guys are tearing up my grass. It's what I'm using them for. I ran them in the woods for the last couple of months where I wanted, a bunch of weeds and roots and stuff gone so that we can go in there and plant grass and create more of like a silvopasture and use it for other animals. So there's, depending on what it is that you were using them for, I guess the kind of taste that you like really determines what kind of breed of pig that you want to raise. But I'm hoping these are pretty good. I don't really like white pork. I like red, well-marbled pork, and I think these guys are gonna do the trick, but we'll see. Pigs do require a sturdy structure. This particular fence that I have around them is hot. I have it hooked up to a solar charger that keeps it good and toasty, and they will test it occasionally, but they do respect it. And that's why I had to grab Eleanor a few minutes ago, because she was going for the fence, and she has not learned that lesson yet. Anyways, this is the area where I have the pigs and the chickens right now, and the reason I moved the pigs here yesterday is so that they can tear up this area, because they will root and dig up this whole area, and in a week it will look like just dirt. So they're great little tillers and saves me a whole lot of work. And once they are done tilling, I'll move them, basically probably swap them out with where the chickens are now. And once this whole area is tilled up, I plan on spreading a winter cover crop here. The soil here is really bad. It is just dust, very hard, very rocky, very acidic soil. And so trying to use animals to help, and then spread a winter cover crop here, keep it covered for the winter. And then in the spring, my hope is to basically destroy that cover crop and then plant potatoes and corn into the soil in this area and have some potato and corn fields. So we'll see how that goes. That's the grand scheme. But in the meantime, these 3 Hereford gilts are doing some work for me. But that's morning chores. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and maybe tomorrow I will do a garden tour for y'all. Or actually, I do plan on doing some garden work this morning, so maybe I'll take you along with me. I don't know if my battery can sustain it, but we'll see how it goes.